are live with the first game of the Grand Finals featuring featuring Torpedo Gaming facing off against Dcypher last game. Dcypher took an intense 3-2 series, whereas Torpedo, they're coming off of a pretty big 3-0. Will the momentum of the 3-2 carry over for Dcypher and just have the hype carry up for them? Or will Torpedo stay calm and push on through and try to show dominance here?
Yeah, Torpedo are very well known for, concise, not necessarily, I wouldn't say boring, but concise, disciplined play, and that's probably, I didn't watch that match personally, the other 3-0, but I imagine that's probably what got them that far. Dcypher, on the other hand, are very much we're gonna, throw out different strategies, go for the big plays. It may not always work, sometimes it backfires. So it's very much a clash of two different styles here.
It's very much a clash of titans at this point.
Literally in this case. Well, the Titans themselves don't fight, but the Titans themselves don't fight, but that's by the by. So looking at the picks and bans here, Janus and Hell is going to be eliminated by Torpedo, while Cypher are opting to get rid of the Hornbats and the Soket. All of those bans, perfectly justified, considering that all four of those gods are extremely powerful. Dcypher are going to get their soul. They really do like their soul right now. They've played that particular god many times, we saw in that last set. Torpedo are going to be picking up the Jingxian. Jingxian been very popular recently, and the Athena. That's two very tanky gods on their front line.
Yeah, likely going to be the support and soul laner here. Agni insta-locked in, most likely going over towards Korinyo here. So, all in all, everything's set up and good to go this time around. Korinyo has a pretty incredible Agni if they go ahead and lock this one in. Both sides getting a lot of very comfortable picks. Same thing goes for Darzer and Asilla.
And Khepri just in general is going to be very, very annoying when combined with Soulsilla, because both of those particular mages are very escapable. Sentinel and the Disapparate included. Then combine that with the Res. That's going to be very hard for people like, Agni, who's just been picked up to reliably go for the 1-2-3 burst, because you're just not going to hit them half the time, and if you do hit them and kill them, they're just going to come back up.
And it's going to come back up and absolutely devastate you from beyond the grave, but, well, second rounds of bans, we see them coming on through. Neat! Banned away by Dcypher Esports as the ADC ban out here, and that's one of the ones that's a pretty solid go-to against Soul. Now, Torpedo looking to hover on a jungler here, actually. Naja now being hovered, locked in straight away by Torpedo right there. So, Naja in the jungle for Torpedo.
So, Naja being picked up, that is pretty good against the Khepri because, of course, while you're being abducted by a Khepri, you're silenced and crippled, but you can still hit it. So if Naja was able to activate the Flaming Spear before getting grabbed, you can still whack him, and then throw out the ring once you're free, and that will do damage to people behind him. Now, in terms of these next stage of bans, Thor being eliminated by Torpedo, while Neith taken off the board by Dcypher. This is the first time we've seen Neith actually picked or actually shown up in the ban screen at all here, at least on this particular stream.
It's Moex. He plays a pretty incredible Neith.
Yeah, true.
I feel that what they have Neith Bushy playing Soul, I do feel that Soul has a fairly rough matchup versus Neith, and Neith able to fairly effectively clear the wave, keep herself sustained, and just push on through a lot of the pressure Soul can put out, and won't necessarily have to worry about being a boxer against her, and just poke her out slowly but surely, and not worry as much about the poke that Soul brings to the table. And Naja, he's going to act as that, well, very, very solid death march character. He dives in, he kills one of your carries, or he locks them up long enough for the rest of your team here. Is now, final pick goes on through on her, being played by Moex here, rocking that shadow on her skin from looks of it, and Xingqian going to be played by GameHunter here in the solo lane.
So, we've had the hype double reverse sweep. We've been speculating a lot in the back during the giveaway, and also over Twitter. The only thing we need to make this more hype is a GameHunter Penta.
I mean, a Penta in general would be pretty incredible at this point here, as Dcypher Esports, they've come pretty far, and it'd be pretty exciting to see them take this one all the way, especially against the giants of Torpedo. But yeah, a GameHunter Penta would be pretty interesting to watch. A nice throwback too, but only on Vamana.
Only on Vamana. But yeah, that is a good point. Dcypher, up-and-comers, they've been, angry Pikachus have been around the scene for a while, but their opposing team that are up against, Torpedo, they're made up of veterans. GameHunter, Moex, WolfofEloStreet, all of those.
The roster of Night's Watch, I believe, the former SPL team.
Yeah, and even then, if you remember, back at the launch tournament, GameHunter, Moex, those guys were around for that whole thing. So these are it's pretty much the up-and-comers versus the veterans here. I'm very excited to see how this goes into at least the first two games, because the first game's going to be, who's going to do something, and then one person's going to win. Then a big strategy change is probably going to happen, because, let's face it, both of these teams have enough experience as to where they could pull out multiple strategies and comps on the fly if they need to.
Well, we'll get to find out soon enough here as we get to the countdown for the final set of the day here. Torpedo versus Dcypher Esports, and this one should be a good one. Whoever takes this one will take first place for a grand total of $5,000, and whoever takes second gets some decent change, but not nearly as much as the first place winner here. So we'll be right back with all the action. Do stay tuned. This is Smite Games EU Challenger Cup, brought to you by hi-rez Studios and Tier Monster. We'll see you in a bit. And we are live with the first game of the grand finals, featuring Dcypher Esports facing off against Torpedo GG, who has confirmed that WolfofEloStreet is indeed not veteran.
God, that's going to follow me for the rest of my career. Right, going into the game here, let's introduce the players. So, for those of you just joining us, we have Dcypher coming up from the south in the blue trunks, defending the Titan of Order. We have BigManTingz on the Soul carry. We have Pikachu going jungle Fenrir, JustLofes on the solo lane Wukong. BigManTingz supports Kebri, and finally Darzer on the mid lane Scylla, who's on Torpedo.
Meanwhile, we've got Torpedo. Needs no introduction here, as a lot of big names here. WolfofEloStreet walking down the support role as Athena. Moex on her. NinjaBobat on a very quick Naja right there. Korinyo rocking the Agni, and GameHunter solo as Xingqiang.
So it looks like no one's going to do any kind of shenanigans. People are playing it very safe here. They have room, in theory. It's first game. If you lose a game, it doesn't really... Especially considering that, we've seen double comebacks over the course of this weekend, so even if you do go 2 down, does it really matter?
I mean, that's the same logic as Bronze 5 is basically Bronze 4, and therefore if you're good at Bronze 4, you deserve to be in Bronze 3. Which is basically the same as Bronze 2, and from there on out. Don't how the train goes.
No, don't ask me about ranked. It's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Don't go in it. Speaking of wretched hives of scum and villainy, it looks like there's going to be an invasion over the blue buff.
Yeah, NinjaBobat getting absolutely obliterated. NinjaBobat just gonna disappear as Pikachu actually picks up the first blood kill, completely obliterating him. Now GameHunter actually in trouble right there, going to take down to half health and off to a good start. Dcypher putting in a huge display to start things off.
So right now, Torpedo, unfortunately they do concede first blood, and giving that to the jungle especially, that helps. Pikachu has been shown to where if he gets that first blood with a power pot start like he is right now, he's able to do work.
He's looking for more too.
Yeah.
Oh, he sees GameHunter knows he's there, so he's trying to play this one safe. The ward has spotted him. Pikachu. Yeah, he might want to look for the dive, however, he's just going to end up eating a lot of time up there. Dcypher...
He needs to help his mid.
Yeah, Dcypher needs to get moving towards the mid lane here, so Pikachu just going to start making his moves. Darzer is clearing out alright, but as is Scylla, he's going to struggle a bit here, especially since NinjaBobat simply got up, dusted himself off, walked back towards his lane, and now Pikachu wants to shove him back into the dirt right there. Bobat in a little bit of trouble there, but Pikachu can't quite deliver just enough yet as he's keeping Darzer safe and sound, getting the first rotations going through quite early from them.
So right now, things are relatively mild-ish, apart from that one big invasion, which is going to help out Dcypher massively when it comes to this solo and jungle. Duo has, been pushing back and forth, but no massive sort of, big picks. Although, actually, speaking of the devil, yeah, that's why. Anytime BigManTingz goes for a significant pull, there's just a taunt immediately, although BigManTingz is able to pop to separate to get the movement speed, and is poking down Moex to half health really efficiently here.
He's doing a pretty solid job over in the solo, and actually just giving Moex quite a bit of a rough time here, but Moex going to just look to scale up and become that later game hunter, and once he gets the Desert Fairy online, he's going to have a lot of extra options, and just deny all-ins that BigManTingz would want to do here. So as long as he can survive long enough and make it to the laning phase, he should be fine come the middle points of the game. Like, it's going to be all about the mid-game here from Torpedo, I feel. Especially with the competition they're running. Once Agni's at level 5, he's going to have a pretty solid time in lane. Same thing goes for NinjaBobat on that Naja. Naja, one of those gods who, once it's level 5, gets his ultimate online, becomes a ganking god, especially if you can find target, lock him down. And in these early skirmishes, Torpedo's going to have a fairly solid go at things. The problem is, Dcypher know this quite well. They're not really going to try to offer any kind of advantages towards Torpedo, and they're either going to play this lane farm game, or try to corral Torpedo into fights that aren't these little skirmishes where they can pick off single targets and have an advantage.
Yeah, and helping out towards that mid-game is itemization. We can see that Moix is going with the Rush Transcendence, no active, so he did have pots, but they've already been burned. He's going to be able to get that online, and that's going to provide him with a lot of mana, and scaling power and extra mana as well, once he actually gets that stacked. And, it'll be around, that 15-minute mark he's going to be able to hopefully get that stacked, or maybe even 10 if he's quick. So I want to see how this works. Over in the solo lane, though, GameHunter might get ganked here if he's not careful. I think he's eyed out Pikachu's on his way, even without wards. But it looks like Pikachu is going to be looking to steal the blue buff once again away from him. Yeah, there's unfortunately no contestation can really be made of that.
Yeah, nothing you can really do about that. GameHunter's going to back off, let it happen, and not worry too much about it. He's farming up quite effectively in lane. He's a level behind Lofes, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much at this point. The big damaging factor is the fact that he's quite a few gold down on his opponent right here. And GameHunter, well, he still wants to scrap, locks Pikachu around, and tosses back Lofes right there. Lofes goes Skyborn as Athena lands, and the Pikachu, well, we've got a Khepri ultimate on him. They're trying to wait this one out. He leaps away, gets that Brutalize off, and will use the move speed to get out of dodge here, but the full skirmish breaks out here. NinjaBobat looking for his way in. Does not have the ultimate available, so they're not going to find any way through with that, as Moex goes toe-to-toe with his counterparts over in the duo lane, but needs to back off as soon as he can. Ring toss, fires out, trying to find his way forward, will find the sash into Darzer. Darzer goes on the monster here, but it's enough here. He's going to get absolutely obliterated by GameHunter leaping forward. Now, Lopez, he's trying to find his final fight here, but unfortunately the taunt will keep Bobat safe. Dodges the abduction. He's now one hit from death. Bobat just using that movement speed, but he runs right to his death in the hands of Pikachu right there. And Pikachu leaping on in, using these quick attacks here on WolfofEloStreet and friends, and they've got to back away here. But Torpedo strikes back, picking up 2 kills in exchange for 1.
That's gonna roughly equalize things out. There's a slight lead in favor of Dcypher, but, it's barely anything. 1000 XP, 1000 gold, that's easily regainable. For all intents and purposes, it's equal. We do see a level 3 teleport and boots coming up from Lofes, so he's going to be able to get to lane very quickly, while GameHunter only has the level 2 online, and he's not going to buy level 3 until the cooldown happens, because you don't get decreased cooldowns by buying the level above, so you're essentially locking gold in a safe that you can't use for about 170 seconds. So Lofes is going to be able to hop back to lane a lot quicker than GameHunter's going to be able to until he gets that level 3 active online.
And that's going to be after the cooldown ends as well. There's no point really at jumping up unless you got gold to burn and nothing else to really spend it on. But, well, now Pikachu taunted in right in the Noxious Fumes here. This could actually be a complete obliteration, but it's going to bleed out and follow on over to BigManTingz that they're waiting in the wing, knowing what was about to ensue here. Pikachu will leap over to safety as Darzer drops a bit of a crush to keep him safe for now here. Torpedo, though, bringing a lot of aggression to the table now to try to put Dcypher on the back foot as quickly as they can. Not dancing anybody else in tune but their own here as Darzer going to get stunned down. He's getting taken so low right there. Will Sentinel away to safety here, but Torpedo keeping the aggression up.
Yeah, nothing really too big going to be made out of that. There's a lot of harass, but anytime someone wants to go in, a perfect example of what's happening in the... Oh, right side though. Unfortunately for Lefels, he is...
Can he make...
Yeah, he's not getting out of that one alive. Combustion passive through the fumes, and also GameHunter there. There's a very low chance of him getting out of there alive.
Yeah, GameHunter going to ask him a nice question there and take him down. As now Pikachu and Darzer a bit low on health to really continue the fight, unless they get a good pick on the Korinyo, but a little bit too much stun and kill pressure available with how low the health bars are. Korinyo, he really wants something here. Pikachu might try to make a play happen. Crush goes down, but Darzer, he's burning out quite quickly. He's got to back off as quickly as he can here, and he should get out of dodge here. Pikachu, though, getting burned up quite nicely here. Bobat right around the corner. Will he get the sash? No, he does not. And no ring toss going to fire out as well. So, Torpedo still looking for this now. The gold lead only about 700, so they're shrinking it slowly but surely. And across the board, even GameHunter now sits even with Lofes.
So right now, Well, that's the advantage. We're immediately seeing quadruple beads coming out by Torpedo. They want nothing to do with the Fenrir Ragnarok. That Ragnarok has been able to secure them kills plentiful in the past. And it looks like on the duo lane here, Bushyyy gonna get CC Shady, even with attempting to separate. It's not enough. NinjaBobat gonna be able to stun him in place with the sash, and that's gonna allow him to pick up the kill. Bobat has been doing work on this Nasha right now, using the parts of the character's kit exactly where they need. For instance, we saw just before he got killed by Fenrir, he used the ring toss to gain extra movement speed to juke out of the way of the Kepri.
He's been using his tools quite effectively here, and NinjaBobat has played as that character. And despite losing that early first blood, being actually the first one to die for it, like I said, Bobat just dusted himself off, got back up, and walked back in and kept putting the fight in. Farmed up, and now he's a pretty big threat to Dcypher right now.
It looks like Pikachu, he's just going to go ward up. He may go for some Moex, but that's a little unlikely considering Moex has full kit online and ready to go if he decides to do anything risky. Over in the mid, there's going to be a little bit of sieging that's more just collective XP farming and grouping up because there's no realistic siege that's going to happen right now unless they get at least a 4-man wipe.
Yeah, unless they get that, but I don't quite see that happening, at least for another few minutes. But we've seen earlier deicides happen before, but I don't quite think it's happening in the situation. Both teams playing careful enough with each other now. Dcypher knows that Torpedo are no slouches in the aggression. They're looking for some way to answer to it now. GameHunter also actually bullying Lofes now in his own lane right here, so he's definitely back in the swing of things despite struggling early on. And now, just across the board, Torpedo having a solid show in this laning phase here. Wards across the map, keeping eyes all over the map here, but Dcypher and Torpedo have vision all around the gold tree here. Torpedo right on top of here, but Dcypher on two sides, so they'll know when Torpedo approaches from most angles.
But in that ward game, you know, we saw last set, that was pretty big, but in this game especially, it's going to be very critical because, you know, you're looking at big gankers. You're looking at people like Naja on her who can leap over walls. Not really a ganker, but, you know, being able to see him leap over walls pretty big. Fenrir, of course, some Wukong, and speaking of which, they're going to be leaping over into the mid. Korinyo is going to get rooted, but Pikachu refrains from popping the Ragnarok because that would just get beads immediately.
Yeah, beads immediately and dashed away by Korinyo there. Would have been a bit too much of an overcommittal there. They tried to bait something out, but Korinyo was patient enough and safe enough right there. So managed to play safe and not panic, which is a huge thing that you need to do in situations like this. Don't panic and just respond accordingly here. As now WolfofEloStreet looking to lurk forward a little bit here. Here we go, Pikachu into the fight, trying to find Bobat, but misses. Well, he misses the Brutalize as well. Does get the Kepri ulti here. BigManTingz blinks over. He's dragging Pikachu in with him though, as now it looks like somebody wants to crash and burn the Pikachu right there. Korinyo gonna light him up incredibly quickly there. So Pikachu unfortunately delivered to the wrong place, wrong time by BigManTingz.
Yeah, that is going to be a nice pickup for Torpedo. Torpedo, slowly but surely, are dragging the golden XP both in their favor. They do have the gold, the XP at 1,000 in their favor, but, you know, that's not a lot. Gold is still, it's basically equal. Like, it's 100.
It was 6 when I saw last.
Yeah, 657. It's essentially, for all intents and purposes, pulled back. You know, it's 5-2 in kills, but kills only means so much unless you can get either good, a substantial golden XP lead off of it, or, like we're seeing now, tower pressure, which Torpedo will be executing over in the solo lane here, and this is going to be the first tower of the game.
It'll be the first tower of the game, and there it goes. Torpedo now have brought themselves a small lead. Still, well, less than 1,000 right now, but once again, it is the beginning of something here for them. It's now Dcypher looking for some kind of option, any kind of option right now, but unfortunately not quite able to find it. In their favor, though, they do have solid ward control around the Gold Fury pit, so they will be able to respond accordingly here. And a double root will land from BigManTingz as Pikachu comes in from the top side to party now. But the Desert Fury doing so much work right there. Korinyo going to just make Pikachu evaporate right there. Now on fire, Torpedo wants her to carry it through here. They're looking around for the flank, but Dcypher nowhere to be found here. But unfortunately, Darzer might wander into the wrong place, wrong time. GameHunter bringing in the WolfofEloStreet as well, but they're right in time, right in place for possibly a buff steal. Instead, they back off. They've got bigger eyes and prizes here. They see a Gold Fury completely exposed. BigManTingz might be around to respond, but will it be enough here, especially with Bushyyy waiting in the corner?
Yeah, this is most likely going to be Gold Fury going the way of Torpedo. Yep, first Gold Fury of the game, but immediately a response here by let's try that again. Immediately a response by Dcypher picking up the first tower for them. They're going to be picking up tier 1 Solo as well. So Solo taking a hammering on both sides of the board. And Torpedo immediately responded as well by taking mid camps. Both of these teams are seizing opportunities.
Yeah, they're responding accordingly. It's all about seizing the initiative, seizing the opportunity. Act first and make your opponent respond to you. And that's going to be Torpedo's goal right here. As Boba sends BigManTingz into the sky here, but he's got his own ultimate. He'll come back down safe and sound. However, Pikachu uses the chaos to inspire a bit of fear by taking out an opponent. Leaps over GameHunter, who brings the rage of whirlwinding steel right there. He's going to tear it up, but only tear up the air around him. Pikachu trying to make the grand escape, goes to the execute, but there we go, Sash! But he does no damage!
That's
the
an execute.
Tower picks up the Pikachu right there, and the execute is good, denying the kill goal to anybody right there. And unfortunately for them, the Pikachu gets out and away with murder right there, or more or less scot-free.
Yeah, they'll learn to get a little bit of assist goal off that, but the big piece of that would have been the kill goal going to no one there. So, while it sucks that a player is down, it's not going to be for that long. So it's effectively a good thing.
It's a good thing, it's denying the gold, and as long as Dcypher can prevent any kind of objective take around here, which so far they have been able to, they've been farming across the map as well, then Torpedo isn't going to gain too much off of that one death. The big that's working in favor of Torpedo, though, is the fact they are all over the map, making the proper objective calls at the time, and even though they're not able to take advantage of that death that they did get in their favor, it's not going to matter too much if they manage to keep this up.
So, right now, things are fairly, well, I wouldn't say stagnant. Things are, they're kind of resting a bit, figuring out what they want to do next. There's a lot of ward coverage around the Gulf Fury pit. It's going to be up in 3 minutes, so those wards are going to be going down. They'll have to be replaced. Right now, it looks like Dcypher's next move, they're going to be looking for Gengar onto NinjaBobat. Ragnarok is going to be used. Athena Ultimate Channel for the damage resistance. Supernova used, but the Brutalize is going to take out the Lotus Crown Prince.
Yeah, now Moex in the back here, trying to force Pikachu away. He actually might find the kill here, but Bushy is in his way. Desert Fury fired off, gets the kill, leaps away, and there's no one left to stop him here. Loaf in the wrong side of this fight, a 1-for-1 trade, and now GameHunter wants to make it another kill here. Leaps on forward, knocks Lopez around, starts the whirlwind of rage and steel, but Lopez already in the sky on his cloud here, but the fight still going heavily the way of Torpedo right here, forcing all their enemies around. We'll see Lopez escape out the back with a quick move at 72 transformations, and now Torpedo clustered around wherever they want to be, ready to start ripping down the wards and walls of Dcypher, which Dcypher do have great ward control for the time being. The problem is they can make almost nothing happen with it right now.
Yeah, the ward control is good. They're going to be able to see what's happening, but they can't go there because Gulf Fury's down. Good luck getting a Fire Giant right now, and towers are going to be hard to do because there's not all grouped up and minions are pushed. But over at the blue buff near Solo, Lopez is being pressured pretty heavily by GameHunter, forced to get out of there with the bird form. And now, it looks like GameHunter might be in a bit of... No, Pikachu's going to back off. That's probably for the best.
Pikachu can't really even fight him right now at this point either. Even with Darzer to back him up, GameHunter has just reached that critical mass of tankiness where it's almost impossible to effectively kill him with a gank. It's just a lot of invested resources, and it opens up the map for Torpedo quite effectively if you put so much pressure on the solo lane towards him. So they're going to make the safe call, back off, and look for picks elsewhere.
So, it's looking like maybe once that Gulf Fury comes up, you're going to be seeing an instant grab towards it. Both of these teams aren't really going for sieges, they're just farming up, grab the camps. We just saw red buff was taken by Darzer, with the XP shared as well by Pikachu. And at the same time, we're seeing a lot of these sacking items, first ones are being completed, second ones are coming up. We see the Book of Off is being deployed here on Bushy, but as soon as that Gulf Fury comes up in around 40 seconds, all hell is going to break loose.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here, as both these teams have got their eyes on the prize here. And Dcypher, they've been making their moves towards it incredibly quickly here. Torpedo, they know this full well, so they're going to start clearing out the way, looking for opportunities around the map, and try to draw Dcypher away from it. And if they focus incredibly heavily on it, they'll just take other opportunities around the map here. So Torpedo, they know what they want, and they're moving towards it here. It's Dcypher's opportunity, though, to make something happen, make the big play here, and swing this game back around to even, and start building things in their favor.
Yeah, right now, Gulf Fury is officially up, although Blink by BigManTingz is immediately going to get beads.
Yeah, immediately
Beads is going to be a big problem for them.
Yeah, they've been the hero of this game right here, yeah. beads. Almost everybody in the game has
Dual
a
lane.
beads of some sort right here. There's a fight breaking out in the dual lane slightly, but it's mostly WolfofEloStreet joining in with Moex right here. Moex having a great time this game so far. We'll see the Pikachu leap on in. Moex gonna beads right as soon as the bite chomps down. Meanwhile, by the Gold Fury, BigManTingz and Darzer having a rough go as Bobat and friends simply juke it out and duel with them. Toe to toe,
GameHunter.
fist for fist here. GameHunter just taking objectives around the map here. Dcypher need to pull the trigger. They need to get decisive about something, or they're just going to lose a tower in exchange for nothing here, and they're pulling the trigger immediately. But is it going to be the right call? Is it the best call here? Is the Fire Giant not available either, and Gold Fury being started up here? They're going to try to leap on forward. They might pick Bobat off here. Crush goes out. Bobat's still alive. He dashes away with the ultimate, and he gets out to safety here. WolfofEloStreet blocking and buying time here. They just want to buy time for GameHunter. They don't have to win here. Moex going to get taken down here, but the Gold Fury being delayed slowly but surely. And now GameHunter, he joins back into the action here. They've got the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel and the Gold Fury. It's a pretty big prize. Somebody wants to fight over here. Pikachu breaks off. They know they've got to fight here. WolfofEloStreet incredibly low. Beats is away, but he's getting brutalized. Taunts to interrupt, but the damage is still there for the Pikachu. And Torpedo, they've got to back up. Dcypher will take the Gold Fury, but they lost a tier 2 tower in exchange. Keeping things even, staunching the bleeding. Pikachu needs to survive, but Whirlwind of Rage and Steel is good. Knocks him back. Will GameHunter get the kill? But no, Pikachu has the ultimate from his Khepri to keep him safe. Korinyo at the same time, almost evaporating. The health bars on Torpedo are incredibly low. And now Dcypher, they've got an opportunity. They've got to make this one count as they need to look towards a tower. Some buffs. Anything to get any kind of advantage right now, or else this game will just be a slow but sure bleed out for them.
They are picking up buffs. You know, they picked up red. Purple, they're not going to be able to steal away, unfortunately. GameHunter pushing that right side this early is huge for Torpedo, because now Phoenix is vulnerable. Admittedly, you know, the other side would have been nicer, but, you know, you play with what you play with. And with Gold Fury being taken, Torpedo can now say, okay, Gold Fury's gone. That's fine. Let's just grab buffs, grab big camps, which they've been able to grab most of the time, successfully, and just look for picks until the next big thing comes up. Fire Giant, I doubt, is going to be realistically grabbed. There may be some baits, some of that dancing, but...
We're getting to that point where the dances will start to happen. Not in full earnest, but it'll be like, alright, let's put some eyes on it, maybe juke out a bit, be a little bit cheeky with each other, start killing off the ward. Fully expect Fire Giant to become the point of contention within the next 5 minutes or so, though. Likely once we see a couple extra tanky items come on to the main characters, such as GameHunter, and a little bit of extra damage for Korinyo and such. But Bobat, gonna try to be the hero of this story, will try to lock down Pikachu, but Pikachu a little bit too slippery and a little bit too quick this time around, will slip away.
Although BigManTingz has been desperately looking for those abduct pulls to set up his team. If he gets those, you look at the comp, they've got the root off of Sikkim, they've got the Tiger Stun, they've got Fenrir, and also Supernova off Bushy. They have more than enough to just evaporate anyone that's being abducted. But anytime anyone gets abducted, one of two things happens. Beans gets burned, or WolfofEloStreet ruins the party with a taunt. So it's really hard for BigManTingz to actually get a big initiation right now.
Yeah, at the same time, Darzer actually also doing a good job of just locking WolfofEloStreet into that one, but
Pikachu.
The rest of Torpedo, they're in the zone and in the action here. Well, we're going to see Darzer get away to safety here. Pikachu gets obliterated, pulled back to safety for a time being, but GameHunter lands the shot, and the burnout is good for Korinyo. The passives are great here, and GameHunter now a little bit trapped out by Soul, but not enough damage for now. EloStreet getting thrown about here, dodges away, running away superhero style from the Soul Supernova right there, and the damage just isn't going to catch up to him. Neither will the crowd control as Bobat goes forward. Bobat looks for the damage, but the bounce not quite going to finish off Darzer right there. Darzer escaped with nothing left to his name but a few points of health here. And finally, they pull somebody away. BigManTingz going to pay for his over-aggression right there. The tower fully exposed. A teleport comes on through, and there's 2 left to defend it here. Dcypher putting up a great defense here and pushing Torpedo away. Still keeping the gold differential at less than 1,000. So far, so good. But this could all change in an instant here. As up he goes, Bobat sends Fez into the air and brings him back down, handing Moex a special delivery kill. And now, I think GameHunter wants to go for the dive here. This tower is a sure thing. As Torpedo, they've shown their presence, made their mark, and made their move. They pulled back a little bit too much here.
Pikachu going on the
wrong
they
place,
can't do
wrong
this.
time here. And Dcypher going in one by one to their death, it seems.
Yeah, they cannot do that. Maybe they're looking for picks, but that was extremely greedy. doing that is just not only going to feed Torpedo golden experience, but is going to allow you to get that positioning advantage that they're going to want. Because look at it, they've taken 3 towers in this game. Phoenix is vulnerable on the right side, and they had a really successful fight there. So the last thing you want to do is let them have the man advantage for any significant period of time, because then they're just going to be able to spread around the map and grab mid-harpies, back-harpies, and caps like it's nothing, with basically no resistance.
I mean, to be fair, it isn't stopping them anyways, even when they don't have the man advantage here, as WolfofEloStreet simply just going to claim a mid-harpy for his own, getting that support gold right there. As well, supports deserve every single bit of gold on the map.
Oh my. Hang on a second. Yes! The Keensight is built! My dream has come true! Someone's building Keensight against health.
I mean, at this point, it's also early enough in the game for it to work out here, as opposed to the last game where, last time you would have built Keensight, it was a little bit late with a little bit too few resources on the map here. This time around, it's a fairly well-timed item if he wants to use that one.
True, but yeah, I'm just going to be extremely biased here. I love that item, and seeing it come out, it's an item you don't see that much because it is so bloody expensive. When you do see it come out, especially on someone like Onher, who, because he has inbuilt protection shred, he can afford to delay big penetration items a little bit. He has his Arty, that's his form of lifesteal here. That provides 15 penetration as well. He's got more than enough penetration to allow him to go for the Keensight, and that Keensight is going to hurt people like Bushy, who's building Warlocks, and of course the 2 tanks on their team, LofEloStreet and BigManTingz.
And especially with how, especially in a situation like you said, this is the situation to go for that. Now LofEloStreet, stunned out by the field, knocked right back in the pillar. LofEloStreet getting obliterated here as Bushy not going to quite find the rate of fire that he needs. That supernova here. WolfofEloStreet on a bit of a retreat. Here's the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. Catches so many right there. 3 caught out and 4 hit in the end. Darzer going to get completely obliterated right there. And Moek is the one to claim it. Now he's looking for another kill here as Pikachu trying to run away, but GameHunter will simply flip around and smash his axe overhead for a kill right there. Torpedo on the move and on the surge right there. Bushy trapped inside his own tower. They're trying to find the play here, but, well, unfortunately Bobat is doing so much. He's going to get obliterated by Bushy here. Now trapped in tight corridor. GameHunter gets the kill, but this is all set up for Bushy. They've got so much damage. LofEloStreet joins the party, but Torpedo completely spreading apart here. Handing Bushy the double kill, though, as the execute was a bit too early. And unfortunately, there was no real way out for him, even if he did try to run away. Bushy gets a double and looks fairly impressive right now as Dcypher, they turn it up here. They're ready to simply go straight for the Gold Fury. However, Torpedo, they know what's going. They need to happen. Make it happen as fast as they can. But we're going to see them escape for now. Should be a bit of a disengage from both sides here. But Bushy, he wants to deal the damage. Moek's getting absolutely obliterated. But LofEloStreet is the one to find the kill here. Now the health bars across the board are low. Only Bushy stands strong here. We're going to see, once again, an attempt at this Gold Fury here. With a member down on Torpedo, this could be disastrous for them here. As Dcypher, they're moving in for the objective here. They're going to go straight for it, and it's burning out fast. Can GameHunter make the hero play is the question. He's in position to try for it. The burst might be there, but unfortunately the Pikachu won't let this happen. They've got the CC set up here. He's going in for it. In comes Athena, but she's a bit too late to the party. Dcypher gets the Gold Fury, and now we're back to dead even as Pikachu doing work in this fight for his team. We're going to see them push down the WolfofEloStreet. He needs to run for his life, but BigManTingz does BigManTingz right there and pulls in WolfofEloStreet, but not for long, unfortunately. Bobat, instead, gonna be taken low, taken down. He slips out the back, but he may not live much longer as he simply jumps back towards the Bushy's loving arms right there. A great series of kills puts Dcypher Esports up on the opposition right now. It's the first time in this game they hold a fairly solid gold lead as it grows once again towards about 1,000, 2,000 now. And it's about to get a little bit dangerous here as this game now at a fairly even point of contention for both sides. I'm not sure who to say wins at this point.
Yeah, this is literally equal. The towers are exactly the same, except, yeah, mid and solo, you know, they're split up in towers, but they are basically equal, and now Fire Giant is up for contention here. Although, Dcypher seem to be undecided whether they want to go for the Fire Giant or for the bait. It looks like they decided instead, you know, they're going to try and get one of the two picks, although they're a bit low on health here.
Yeah, they've got to make the decisive call, and it's a bit late for it now. We need to see an escape from Dcypher Esports right now, and unfortunately BigManTingz is going to get locked down and taken out by Korinyo there. And unfortunately, they pay the price for not pulling the trigger immediately in a situation like that. When you want to go big, you either go big or you go home, but Bushy looking absolutely monstrous there, picks up a kill, but now he might pay for it here. Moek shuts him down before he gets too much further along, and now Torpedo have finally bought a moment's respite for both sides.
So now Torpedo have a decent opportunity to try for at least a the Fire Giant attempt. Although Dcypher have 2 members up. Lofes is in a... Oh no! He got trapped in the pillar. He's going to be forced to beat away and birds. He's going to be able to escape. No one's going to want to chase that. Torpedo, they have positioning now. They could go for at least left mid harpies and at least 2 camps here, maybe 3. And now they're going to be able to say, hey, Dcypher, that push was cool, but we're going to shut down your momentum now.
And they're going to try to shut things down here. Moek's build still looks incredibly interesting at this point, I think is the choice of words I want to go for here. Hasten Fatalis as the 5th item here, and...
Did someone say Unicorn build?
This...
I'm getting some throwbacks to Unicorn build.
This is a fairly odd throwback right here.
It is the Unicorn build. The only thing we need now is Titan's Bane, and that is the item for item Unicorn build that Craig described like back in the day. Yeah, there it is. It's most likely going to be Unicorn build. Going critless, and instead just wants to break through the raw protections that Dcypher are building here. And considering that Honor his passive works in that same aspect with reducing protections, I don't blame him.
I mean, it works out already into Steam Comp here, but it still is a little bit odd situation. Interested to see how it fully works out here. As Moek definitely putting up the results if you want to take a look at the damage graph as well. So, all in all, Moek, it's weird, but it's working.
Yeah, it is working. And now it looks like Dcypher are just kind of grouping up a little bit, but they're going to be seeing maybe a gank onto GameHunter here. He doesn't have the tower to protect him. He is going to get stunned out. He is relatively tanky, though, so he's going to be able to walk away from that decently, although he's got to be wary of his mana. He has blue buff, but he needs all of his mana and then some if he wants to stay in these fights, because his full combination does actually take a lot of Xingqian's mana.
It doesn't take too much at all, so he's going to be fine and dandy. Not too worried either about that mana spend, but well, you always got to have an idea where you want to spend your mana here. A quick blink of Duck, not going anywhere. BigManTingz gonna get locked into a pillar here, and there we go. This is sustained from Moek right there, but the burst from Bushy is absolutely insane right now, and he's got that on a fairly free trigger right there. And now everybody's grouped up in a tight corridor here. Torpedo, they're well aware of this, and so are Dcypher. They're moving back a bit, trying to buy some time here. Soul firing off bits of poke here and there and everywhere, as everybody's just back off, calm down a bit, and rename themselves to PKP.
So, at this point, Dcypher Esports and Torpedo both looking for the Fire Giant. And maybe not even Fire Giant itself, but both of them are just gagging to get some picks here. Torpedo, they have the potential to, go for either an Athena Taunt, or they can go for the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel setup. There's the Taunt. Bushy going to be forced to try and separate and beat. He is going to be able to get away relatively unscathed, but that's beats down for 60 seconds. And during that time, Disapparate, it can only save him so much.
It can only save him so much here, and with the player-killing tendencies that these guys seem to have here, I mean, there's no escape, it seems, as everybody just wants to hunt each other down and both be player-killing players, which is what the joke came from here, is now Dcypher simply waiting things out here. Torpedo, it's going to be a bit of a lull here. Both sides want vision. They want something that gives us a leg up here, and we're going to be seeing buffs respawn soon enough. I feel after that point, we're going to see some kind of dance here, as somebody's going to be confident enough and like, okay, we got buffs, we got our important items where we need them to be, we can set up this fight here. Or somebody will get enough vision somewhere and be like, alright, time to go. Somebody's going to call this hand, and then somebody's going to have to call the bluff, and, well, whoever wins that fight is going to be the one to walk away with this one, I feel.
At this point, considering the state of the towers, Phoenixes are vulnerable. And admittedly, towers, they're looking a bit shoddy in terms of their protections versus the power that both teams are bringing. So whoever wins the engagement around the Fire Giant is going to get at least one or two things. They're going to get all towers and at least 2 Phoenixes, or, if they're feeling really greedy, they just go down the lane without the towers and hope they can burst down an increased strength Titan.
I mean, that's one of the ways to go about it here, but now, well, the breakout fight might be happening like I thought about for Velocity here, is Lofes gonna get caught out a bit and not gonna fall into the pillar as he does go Skyborn in his own ultimate there. Now, Moex dragging in Athena to the party here. WolfofEloStreet joins the zone here, but the pincer could occur from Dcypher. GameHunter incredibly deep, dropping a lot of damage here, but nobody hit by the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel aside from the Pikachu here. And even then, he had the beads readily available. GameHunter, most of his buying damage here, trying to stand it out here. Bushy hitting nobody with that ultimate there. That's going to be massive here. Bushy getting obliterated, but he's got the ultimate from Kepri. He's going to be saved by the Scarab's blessing right there. GameHunter sitting so low. Taunt is good on the 2 right there, but GameHunter still surviving. On the hunt go NinjaBobat. He misses the ultimate. Bushy trying to fire off those last bits of damage. WolfofEloStreet looking to hunt him down, claim his life here. The blocks are good from BigManTingz, and just like that, the escapes are real from Dcypher. But there's still 2 exposed members. Torpedo want to take out the Pikachu. He goes up, he goes to the fight though, and GameHunter takes him down immediately after as what comes up definitely goes down to a death chamber of about 45 seconds down. Torpedo now have the man advantage around a fire giant fight here, but Dcypher Esports still have so much damage on the table here that it's not going to be a safe approach. They're instead opting towards this tower, as Lopez here to defend here. The health bars are sitting at about half on Torpedo across the board here. Bushy though, getting absolutely massacred, going to fall, and that is the second pick that Torpedo won. It's the second pick Torpedo needs, and this fight now got much more interesting here.
And now with that kill, they don't have Supernova available, and they don't have that big distance poke, which forces health levels down to a point where Torpedo has to be wary. So now Torpedo can just do this. GameHunter will just take Moex, and Korinyo will just absolutely obliterate that tower. And with that, they're going to be setting their sights on damage buff, which is very nice to have at this point in the game because it has a percentage element to it, and of course percentages get better the longer the game goes on. So GameHunter is going to be chunking for a good bit of damage. Torpedo are looking to maybe... No, they're going to actually decide against grabbing Gold Fury. Instead, they're going to head over to Fire Giant area, as it... I think... No, they actually didn't spot out... They didn't have any wards. Actually, did they have a ward there?
No. It got dewarded. They're going to look towards deward this one here. But right now, this making move there just in case. Want to put eyes on it. We're at the 34, almost 35 minute mark. The count is 11 to 18. It is a 71,000 to 72,000 gold game here. Both teams more or less dead even on everything. Experience the only thing trending, and it's trending in favor of Torpedo. But at this point, it matters almost not at all here. WolfofEloStreet, the only non-level 20 on Torpedo, and Dcypher don't have the Pikachu nor BigManTingz at 20, but they're both acting as those frontline brutalizing tanks right there. So Torpedo, as things stand, there is no differential here. No major distinct advantage either side has. This is the sudden death, do or die moment in game 1 that we see games tend to reach against even teams here. And now we're going to see the first fight break out here. Bushy caught out completely right there, but he will disapparate in time and has the Scarab's blessing to keep him safe just in case. But Torpedo going to use this opportunity here, pushing forward. Lopez goes Skyborn to get the safety, and now Dcypher on a complete retreat. They gotta heal up, or else Torpedo will take advantage of this weakness and go straight for the Fire Giant. But Torpedo, well, they're not quite confident enough in this one yet, as there's so much damage to Dcypher right now.
And Darzer is going to be beating that taunt from Athena. Lofes, meanwhile, is going to do a decent bit of poke, but he's going to get stunned out. Has the Spirit Rose to do 50% damage mitigation. GameHunter going in. He has the Athena for the damage mitigation. He's looking for Bushy. If they can get Bushy, yes, they will. That is huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's looking to be more right here. Torpedo have gotten so many insane picks back to back, but they need to actually use the opportunity here. They've got it, but they're just not pulling the trigger yet, and they just cannot afford to. Even without that, Dcypher Esports still are dangerous right here, especially with Darzer being available. We've seen the way Scylla just completely monsters her way through these Fire Giant fights. It could happen against Pikachu's Ragnarok. Will simply be evaporated into an Aegis right there. Double taunt through, right in the Noxious Field. Everything set up perfectly for Moex right there as he takes his kill, and out the back goes the Scarab Blessing. JustLofes, and now Fire Giant finally fully exposed, fully prepared to fall right there. Torpedo going to take this one down with no contest.
Yeah, Torpedo grabbing Fire Giant, and now the door is open for them to grab 2 Phoenixes with Fire Giant buff, although they're going to go back first, grab items. If we actually have a look at the builds here, yeah, that's going to be the pretty much Unicorn build. The only thing that I can see missing there is Moex selling Transcendence and stacking up Brawlers there. We are going to be seeing the extra crit coming out on NinjaBobat. Of course, Naja, for those of you that don't know, has a guaranteed crit element part of his ultimate, so where you can crit up 3 times guaranteed. So Deathbringer and then a bunch of penetration items are usually on the card for Naja. And meanwhile, we're seeing a decent bit of health being deployed by the rest of Team Torpedo. You know, we've got a good bit of tanky items and a decent physical protection coming out of Torpedo. And we see GameHunter, meanwhile, is stacking a bit more damage. He's got the Mystical Mail, he's got the Soul Reaver, so he's going to be able to, if he hits Bushy on his own with, say, a Furious Roar, he's going to be able to do a good bit of chunking. But it looks like on the left lane here, WolfofElo is going in.
Yeah, WolfofElo going in and going in deep this time here. Fully fire gianted up. Torpedo look to take no prisoners as they want to finish this game and finish game one strong here. Dcypher, it's now down to their final moments and their final countdown here. This is the point where they either win or lose this game right here. And WolfofEloStreet fighting his way forward, right into a massive stun here. Bushy locked up, knocked around by GameHunter as GameHunter spins around. Bushy in the scare, plus JustLofes doing his best to dodge, gets up in the air here, but Bushy will finally make his way back to the base here. Tossed about is GameHunter, drug back to the fountain here as Darzer inside the middle of an Aegis will survive for now. Korinyo, the one to pick up the kill on Darzer right there, and Torpedo now looking very aggressive. Look to take a second Phoenix here and shut this game out as quickly as they can here, but Dcypher still putting up a defense around. We're going to see them locked down, taunted back in by WolfofEloStreet. The damage is so huge from Bushy though. GameHunter pulled in, he's locked down. Can they finish him off? No, they cannot, as GameHunter simply flips his way to safety. And Torpedo will escape. 2 Phoenixes down, a kill, and they're more than happy with that one after losing absolutely nothing for it.
Yeah. And at this point, this game is all Torpedoes to win, or to lose if they get taken out in a team fight. Dcypher, they are at a point here, they've got their items online. If they can find a mistake that Torpedo make and capitalize on it, they're going to be able to go for a push, but right now Torpedo in prime position to start taking Titan's health down, and unfortunately, BigManTingz, that doesn't help getting caught out. That does suck for them, because now that's going to be their revive down for 1 minute, and they could have really used that, because Gold Fury's going to go down relatively quickly, and by the time they get to Torpedo getting back to the fight, there's either going to be about 20 seconds left on BigManTing's clock, or if they decide to go back, he's going to be back up, but either way, this is going to be a free Gold Fury going for Torpedo.
Yeah, and there's not much Dcypher can do to take this one down, as Moek, despite his odd build, putting up a lot of good work here, and, well, making it work versus these guys. So somebody send Moex a unicorn if he wins this game, like an actual unicorn. Find one, create one, I don't care, just get him one.
Can someone just, like, paper mache a horn onto a pony and then just send that instead?
That'll work just fine, and I'm sure Moex won't be too disappointed about that one, as now things down to the wire here. Dcypher might be on their last legs at this point. They've got 1 Phoenix standing. Torpedo still got plenty of Fire Giant, well, not too much Fire Giant left as they want to finish this game out strong, but even without it, they should be good to go here. Luxury items coming online for everybody. We're seeing the final items ticking in, just 3 more items left to complete on the side of Torpedo, whereas Dcypher in pretty much the same boat here. 2, 3 items, so everybody has one of those on Dcypher here, as we near the 80,000 gold mark for Dcypher. Torpedo looking at that 90k as well here, 40 minutes into the game. The next team fight lost is very much good game at this point, no matter who takes it in the end. We've reached a point where it's 60, 70, 80-second death timers, and we're about to see them in full swing here as Darzer going to escape at the back, but not for long. He does trigger the Animal Monster, trying to run for his life from NinjaBobat, but Bobat on the hunt. He could find the ring toss. Surge is on board here, but Darzer, he's got backup. He brought friends, and how long can they save him? Sentinels away to safety here. GameHunter instead picks a different target. Toss Lopez around a bit as Pikachu looks to engage, finds Bobat. Meteors come out, but Moek on the other side of the fight takes down the Bushy, looking to make his way over to this party right now, as there's a lot going on here. Stasis mode has been reached, and it slaughters the casters. Unfortunately for us, Torpedo GG have taken down the casters in game 1.
That is unfortunate. So, hopefully, that the stasis uncovers itself. It's going to be one of 2 things. Either it's going to resurrect itself, or this is a dead replay. Not replay, sorry, this is a dead spectator. This is live. So, hopefully this happens, but this actually gives us a moment. Okay,
right,
we have an announcement.
Torpedo wins in the next 3 minutes. Exactly 3 minutes from now, Torpedo will take down Dcypher Esports. Unfortunately, blame spectator, but it's unlikely we can bring you guys the end of this game, so we're going to reset, bring you to game 2, as Torpedo are now up 1-0 over Dcypher Esports in this best of 5. Don't go anywhere. This is Smite Games Challenger Cup, brought to you by hi-rez and Tier Monster. We'll be right back.